Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen, and in this video, what am I talking about? I'm talking about Robby again! No, I'm joking. I'm joking. In this video, I'm talking about our boy, Eli Muskowitz, one half of the Binary Brothers, and the badass known as Hawk. Now, it's no secret that amongst the Cobra Kai fandom, or whoever, the theory is out there that Hawk is going to get his mohawk shaved, he's going to change it purple, and all that kind of jazz, right? We know something's going to happen to Hawk, because with the way Season 4 is being built up, they've said that, you know, it's going to have themes from all the Rocky movies in there, and if you know your Rocky movies, in Rocky 4, you know, I'm just saying Drago kills Rocky's friend. Rocky 5, it ends up in a street fight. You know, there's rematches in Rocky 2 between Apollo and Rocky. You know, and then in Rocky 3, Apollo trains with Rocky to get him better to fight Clubber Lang. You know, so what kind of Rocky are we talking here? You know, what kind of Rocky? Leave your theories on that down below in the comment section. And the No Way Home trailer released the other day. Oh, still hype from that. But in this video, I want to talk specifically on how I think this is going to go down. Do I think it's going to play out like a stereotypical Hollywood, you know, Hawk walking along Maine, and then they jump out from the bush behind him, grab him, and then just and then shave his head? No. I think it's going to be something different. I think that every season around mid-season, there's something that kicks things off, or there's something that really sets the stage for what's to come. And this ties into what I was saying. This is why I think the mid-season is going to play out. Terry Silver, right, going off of the... Terry Silver! If you get that reference. Playing off of the quote where they said, a cobra hides in plain sight. That's because I think Terry Silver is going to introduce himself to Miguel, to Sam, to Hawk, to the kids, to the kid characters. And in the mid-season, that's when Daniel and Johnny realize Silver's back. And here's how I think this is going to play out. I think throughout Season 4, Hawk will be coming to terms with all the actions he's done. As I've said before, the dojo, the Medal of Honor, all of that. That's what his arc will be. And his arc will be accepting that, yeah, the Mohawk is badass, but it doesn't, it defines him, but to a point. He can find his identity without it. And this is how I think it's going to go down. I think at the mid-season finale, or just the mid-season, because it's not released weekly. At mid-season, him and Dimitri are going to be training after hours in the Miyagi-Do dojo. They're going to be practicing the wheel technique, or they're going to be practicing the balance movements, or the breathing techniques and whatnot. And Hawk is going to be, he's going to be on board. As I said, he will fill that Robby void that is now left for Daniel. Daniel has an affinity for these kind of characters because he can help them, he can mold them to be better. And I think Hawk will absolutely fill that void the same way Sam will take a shine to Johnny, the same way Miguel will take a shine to Daniel, the same way Dimitri might take a shine to Johnny, or Johnny might take a shine to Dimitri. Hybrids. But Hawk will be finding his inner balance. He'll be focusing on himself. He'll be improving. And I could see the scene playing out like this. Let me set the scene for you. You hear the wind through the trees. You just hear the rustling of leaves, the sound of the koi pond, just the water, and just Dimitri and Eli training. And then Dimitri's about to leave. He's about to head home. And he says, "You coming, Eli?" And Eli's like, "Nah, I'm going to just stay here a little bit longer, do some more exercises." "Alright, see you soon." And then Dimitri exits the dojo. He exits the dojo. Hawk's training by himself. He's practicing the breathing exercises. You hear the door open. Or the gate. You hear the gate open. Hawk would say, "Huh, new copy of Dungeon Lord?" Or something along that line. And no answer. There's no response. There is nothing said. Hawk's like, "What the hell? I just spoke to you. Why didn't you say anything?" And he looks, and it's a figure. You can't quite make out who it is, but it's a figure. It's a silhouette of a figure. You hear another gate open, or you hear the doors open, the main doors. You see another figure. Hawk looks behind him. You see another figure. And then Hawk finally puts two and two together. This is an attack. This is a coordinated assault. Now, for some who say this might be too far, not anymore. With Silver coming back, this stuff is definitely on the table. Hawk right now in that dojo is as big a threat to Cobra Kai as anyone. Kreese will say, hey, we need to dock him. And he betrayed us. And the students of Cobra Kai will say, hey, we've got a score to settle as well. He threw Rickenberger like, hey, he threw me into a table. Or, hey, he threw me into a wall. Hey, he kicked me in the face. They have a personal score to settle with Hawk. Hawk's threat, the threat that was made to Hawk from Tori, was directed purely at him. And it could be me reading into it, or us all reading into it. But as I said, this show plants seeds. It plants seeds. So back to the scene. The camera pans out. It's a wide shot. And you just see the figures just approaching Hawk little by little by little by little. And all you see is nothing. Cut to black. Or, what you do is you show the fight scene, and Hawk will be taking every single one of them down. Every single person who attacks him, he will be using his new Miyagi-Do training to... He'll fight offensive first. Someone will come and swing for him. He'll use what he's learned from Daniel. Bob and weave. Take him down. And then eventually the numbers game will overpower him. He'll take down as many of them as he can. He'll go down swinging. And that is where either he gets really injured, or the theory of his mohawk getting shaved. But the attack on him is going to set this whole thing off. And I could see a scene where Silver or Daniel and Johnny are like, hey, what the hell are you doing? And then that's when they say, hey, like in The Karate Kid with Jaden and Jackie Chan, and the original Karate Kid movie, where, you know, the OG one, where they said, right, leave my students alone to train. And Kreese is like, no one touches the prima donna until the tournament. Is that clear? Yes, sensei! I could see a scene playing out like this. Daniel and Johnny confront Kreese and his students, and they say, hey, we'll see you at the tournament, but let's leave each other alone until then. And Kreese agrees, and he says, let me just consult someone first. And that is when Silver walks out, and the look on Daniel's face is one of, fuck, we're in trouble. And Johnny's like, okay, what the hell's that thing on your head with that ponytail? You know, Johnny will take the piss and make fun. But Daniel will be shaken to the core, because Daniel doesn't have Miyagi now. And he knows what Silver's capable of. And he knows what Silver will do, and the lengths that Silver will go to. And I could see Daniel and Johnny making the deal with Kreese and Silver there. And Johnny saying to Daniel, why are you so afraid? What's up with him? What's so special about him? And then Daniel says, you don't know the half of it. And it's similar to episode 6 of season 3, where it opens up with backstory and flashback about Kreese. When the mid-season ends, episode 6 will open up with Daniel telling Johnny what Silver is, who he is, what he can do, and then you get flashbacks to Silver. That is what I think is going to happen, and that's why this moment right here is going to set this whole thing off. This is what I think is going to happen around mid-season. Maybe not necessarily with Hawk getting his mohawk shaved, but something along these lines, where the first few episodes, Daniel and Johnny are going to be like, yeah, yeah, we're winning, we're doing it, we're winning this thing. And then Silver's brought in, and that rocks them completely. Mostly Daniel. And this is where Daniel needs Johnny more than ever. You could argue, last season Johnny needed Daniel. This season, Daniel absolutely needs Johnny. Because Johnny will see right through Silver and the bullshit and the facade of, you know, I like that, Johnny, I like it. You know, he'll see through the over-the-top dramatic nature and the, you know, the overcompensating, as I've said in videos before. Johnny will be like, okay, calm down, dude. Like, you're overselling it now. And I think Hawk is going to be absolutely integral to what happens in mid-season. As I've said, the progression that Hawk got in Season 3, you would be doing him a disservice if you don't do anything with it. You don't have to have him win the All Valley, but you have to give him something unique to his character. And I could honestly see a world where Hawk could win. I could honestly see a world where that could happen. You know, he could go up to Kreese and say, hey, how's your champ now? Should have picked me. But I can also see it being more of serving Hawk to fight in the tournament as Eli. He might not even fight in the tournament as Hawk. He might go in there and say, I'm Eli. I'm not Hawk. I'm Eli. And not discounting the potential for duo fight scenes. Like, I mean, Dimitri and Hawk getting a full-on fight scene together, similar to what Sam and Robby got in the mall fight in Season 2 with them two. Got a bit of that in the house, but I want a longer fight for them. I want a longer one, much more longer. But guys and girls, jump in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this. And it's not even theory at this point. Like, Hawk is not making it out of this season without some kind of injury. Something significant is going to happen to Hawk. Because when you break it down, Miguel's not going to be the one to be injured. He's just come back from being nearly crippled. It's not going to be him. It's not going to be Sam, because she's just had so much to deal with her PTSD and, you know, damn near getting a face cut off from Tori. It's not going to be Dimitri, because he had his arm broken. You know, he's had his fair share. I don't see anything much happening to Tori, because she's usually the aggressor in these situations. But I do think we'll get more nuance with her character in Season 4. I'll be doing videos on that and talking about that. People have asked me, do I think redemption could be possible? I will cover that in a separate video. But if we're looking at the two most likely characters to get injured, I think you look at Robby for one, for perspective, because he needs to get served some due, you know, for the things he's done. You see, I do instill it where it's needed, people. Robby would need accountability, and this will show him, yeah, maybe I should have not kicked certain people over staircases. But with Hawk, I feel like with all the stuff that he's done, I feel like it is so poetic for him to be the one that gets the injury and be the one that rises, be the one that recovers. Because he's usually the aggressor. He's usually the one dealing the pain. What if the pain is dealt unto him? And he's learning defense and he's learning inner peace. It matches up perfectly. And I'm saying this right now, like Hawk in Season 1 flipped the script and he was badass. But he was mostly just the aggressor. You know, we knew in the tournament when it rolled around he was going to aggravate Robby's injury. We knew that. It was basically a parallel. Season 2, he was thrown around like a ragdoll and used as a puppet. Season 3, however, man, did my boy Eli come a long way. He came a long way. To the point where he was willing to prove himself by staring people down in the face. You know, constantly challenging Kreese without much fear or hesitation, you know, learning from all the senseis. I think Hawk, you know, and I've been a big advocate for saying that Robby or Miguel would have the best arc, but I think Hawk is really coming up in those rankings. I think Hawk is really going to surprise people, and I think it would be such a disservice to not do anything with this character. You know, it doesn't always have to be about how far one character gets in the All Valley. What are they doing across the season? How are they growing? How are they evolving? And throughout Season 3, if I had to say it, Sam and Hawk are tied for me for the best arcs in Season 3. Like, Robby's turn to the dark side was amazing. Miguel's, you know, comeback was sick. But Hawk and Sam really leaps and bounds with Season 3. They came such a long way. Sam came into her own, and Hawk developed majorly, and he now knows a bit of every sensei except Silver, obviously, but he knows a bit of each one, so he is probably the most hybrided out of all of them. So go on, Eli, get that win, stick it to Kreese. Oh man, could you imagine the scenes if he does win? But anyway, guys and girls, that's the context and nuance for this video, and that's the scene I have where I feel like something like that will happen. Maybe not this way verbatim, but something along these lines where I could see Hawk really getting some bad injury dealt unto him for the things he's done. So, guys and girls, I'll see you down in the comments section below. Let me know what you think. Do you think Hawk will get injured at all? Do you think he'll suffer anything? And, yeah. Cool it with the nerd shit, huh?